Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new card making video. Today we're making an elegant Christmas card, but this is easy. Easy to make an elegant card. We're using a stamp set from Trinity Stamps called Sketchy Nativity and these amazing arch dies. There is an arch shaped card die. I love this. And then look at all the nesting arches you can use to go on top of it or with other things. And not only are these nesting, but they have embossed lines on either side of the cut line. I love these, and there's so many sizes. Such a great value for the money. So then let's take a look at that Sketchy Nativity set. It is a 3-piece set, so it has the word joy, the large star, and then this huge image of Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus. There is coordinating dies to cut out all the things, so 3-piece die set. And then to go along with that, I am going to use the Elegant Christmas Sentiment stamp set and stamp Glory to the Newborn King. So many great sentiments in there if you like cards with a religious theme. And then look at the dies to cut these out. They cut like so tight and scripty. I love that. Okay, we're going to start out with embossing. So I have this huge sheet of cardstock in my MISTI. I'm treating it with an anti-static powder tool, and I'm going to emboss that large image. So I did that powder tool because sometimes when you touch your paper, you're going to leave oils with your hands, and the embossing powder will actually stick there. So we want to reduce the chance of that happening by using that powder tool. All right, now I have my Wow it's like clear embossing ink and this little roller that you can use to re-ink the pad. I love this. I can just add a little bit of ink and it won't be so goopy because that ink refill is like a roller. Oh, it's so cool. So I inked up my pad so it's nice and juicy, and I'm really taking care to get ink all over this large image. And then I'm going to press that down with my MISTI and my pressure tool and make sure that I get a really good image. And then I am going to do this twice just because I'm so nervous about clear ink. And then I am going to sprinkle on gold powder to emboss this with. Now, this is one of the things that you can do if you really want to bump something up so it looks more elegant, and that is embossing, especially with a metallic powder like gold. This is the thing that got me hooked on making my own cards, was embossing. Way back, like 29 years ago, this was the thing. I love it so much. All right, so then I have my arched die set, and I'm kind of just looking here to see which of these dies I'm going to use to die cut this out. So I'm playing with these, kind of figuring out the sizes, and I liked this one that's on like the left hand side of my die set. That's the second from the largest arch, not including the arch shaped card itself. I kind of want to get the die ready and know what size this is going to be because I'm going to ink blend and do some emboss resist. This is another really magical thing that you can do to bump up that elegant look of your cards, is emboss resist. So wherever I'm putting the ink, the embossing is going to resist it. Now, some of it might sit on top, but you can buff it away. And I am using Uncharted Mariner Distress Oxide ink and my favorite blending brush, which is the Blending Buddy brush from Trinity Stamps. And I'm just kind of trying to keep the darkest color there in the lower right hand corner and have it kind of fade out at the top, because at the top is where I'm going to put that giant star. Now, to intensify the look of black, or of it being darker at the bottom, I'm bringing in black soot, and this is going to blend with that blue and just make it look really super dark. So if you need to darken something up, try adding that little touch of black. You can always go back over it with the blue. I'm not even adding any extra ink to my tool here, just softening out that black with the ink already on the brush. All right, so I am now buffing off that excess ink so that gold is not, you know, kind of covered up with the blue. It can make it look a little bit greenish. So make sure you buff that ink off. And then we're going to add a little splatter, because splatter is magical. It's super easy to do. It's cheap if you only use water, right? So I like to do a couple different layers of splatter. When I do ink blending, for sure, I love the look of the water. It's going to pick up some of that ink and leave some really like ethereal looking splatter there. But I also love some splatter in color. So I'm going to use this metallic watercolor paint set from Altenew to add my splatter. So I'm just watering that down a little bit so it's nice and loose. It's going to splatter really easily, and then I can put lots of layers on there, as much or as little as I like. I like a lot of splatter, so you see me repeatedly splatter this, and I'm just using a paintbrush to do that. Now I have my heat tool here, but I'm just using this to dry that splatter, so I'm going over it really fast and not getting too close because I've already got that embossed image there. All right, bringing back that arch die, I'm liking the way it looks, so I'm going to go ahead and die cut this out. My paper is a little bit warped from all the embossing, so I am going to use quite a bit of my repositionable tape here and make sure that's not going to move around. And you can see I really reuse that tape till it is just yucky, and then I throw it away. All right, there's the image all die cut out. Don't you love that embossed detail around that die cut? That is another thing that I think makes this card look elegant, is that embossed detail. It's so good. All right, so now we're going to take that same die we used to die cut out the nativity scene and the one just larger than that that's on that, again, left-hand side of the die set, the largest and the next one down. And I'm going to layer them together, die cut them at once from some gold cardstock here. And I'm just making sure it's lined up before I run that through. And I've got this great frame. Isn't that awesome? So I'm not gluing my nativity scene on top of the gold paper and wasting it, but I have this other golden arch here, golden arch, that I can use to make a different card. So we're going to save those. All right, so now I am going to take the actual card die itself. You can see it takes up almost all of an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock. This is going to create an A7 size card. So that's roughly 5 by 7 inches. You know, it's going to be a little bit off with this one being rounded at the top, but it's 5 by 7 inches. And then we're going to glue all the things down. So I'm going to start with that arch. You can see I've got a nice border of the blue cardstock around the outer edge. And then I'm just using liquid glue so I can make sure I've got the spacing right and I've got that same amount of blue border all the way around. And then we're ready to inlay our embossed and ink blended piece. And it looks just like that. Okay, now we're going to add the star. I also thought I was going to use the word joy from this set for my card, and I didn't end up using it, so that I'll just save that with my stamp set, and then it's ready to go for another card. But I'm going to use those elegant Christmas sentiments on this card. So I'm embossing these also with gold because, you know, it's magical. I'm going to die cut these out, and that star is going to be like a great addition to this card. You know, you got to have the star. You got to. So I'm die cutting these out. This is my Scout die cutting machine. It's a nice small size, but has all the power of the regular die cutting machines from Spellbinder. So love it. And here's that star. So good. It's the perfect addition. All right, so here's that elegant Christmas sentiment set again. I'm going to do Glory to the Newborn King, and that one I'm going to stamp with some blue ink. And these dies they're really small, so it's kind of hard to tell at first which die do I need to cut out which thing. So I lined it up with my stamp set itself to make sure I had the right die out. And then I'm going to stamp this with the Distress ink, not Oxide, but Distress ink, also in Uncharted Mariner, so I know it's going to match that ink blending that I already did on my card. And then when you die cut this out, this is really cool. The die is going to cut this apart. So it's not going to cut one long sentiment. I think that's awesome because then you have choices of how you're going to put this on a card. Maybe you're going to put it on a smaller card and this long sentiment is going to fit on a card that's like 4 1/4 inches. Then you could just stack it. So you've got choices, and I think that's super cool. You can see I've got the 2 pieces there. I can stack or I can put them a long way. So still, I thought I might use that joy, but it just didn't fit. I laid everything out how I wanted it, and now I'm going to bump up my little star. You could use a foam square here, but I decided to use some lightweight chipboard. I cut out 3 pieces, and then I'll go ahead and glue the star to the top of that, and then it'll be raised up and nice and sturdy. So whichever way works best for you. But with this having those points that are kind of long and skinny and narrow, I thought it would just be easier to add multiple layers to raise this up. And I'm going to put mine right there in the kind of upper left corner, but you could put it on the right side too, whatever like you feel looks best. And then we just need to glue down that sentiment at the bottom there. I am going to have mine go all the way across, and you really could just put any sentiment on here that you liked, or leave the sentiment off and put one on the inside. That would be good too. You don't always have to have a sentiment on the outside, right? I almost always do, but I made another card today. I did not put a sentiment on the outside, and I was like, it's gonna be fine. It'll be all right. Okay, now it's time to embellish. This is just an extra little thing you could do. These are called Oh My Stars. They're from Trinity Stamps as well. I'm using my pickup tool to pick them up and place them down wherever I put a dot of glue. Another fun thing you could put on here would be sequins or some gold baubles, and whatever you might have in your stash that works well with the kind of golden colors we have going on here. And something simple is always good, and it adds to that elegant feel of the card. So that is it with the embellishments. It looks so pretty. So this is my elegant Christmas card, and there's plenty of room to write a message in there or add a little Christmas letter, or maybe add some other sentiments in there. So you can play around with that and make it just really special and customized to whoever you plan to send the card to. I like to do that. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know, do you prefer elegant Christmas cards or cute Christmas cards? That's the big question. And I will be back again very soon with another video, paper crafting fun just for you. So subscribe if you're new here. If you're interested in these products, they're linked for you below, and I'll see you all again very soon. Happy stamping! Bye!